Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Animaking 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 32 of What If Naruto Got His Memories Sealed Away. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Godly Mage that I posted over on Anime King, and I enjoyed that guys. And I also posted a new episode of What If Naruto became the god of wind, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And on this channel I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a OP Seal Master, so go ahead and enjoy it as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado, what is we begin this new episode. Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Naruto was at Kumo as Fukasaku told him about Sage Mode. Yes, that is what Jiraiya wanted Naruto to learn. As Naruto accepted, he really wanted to get something to help him in the upcoming endeavors. So Fukasaku headed back as he made Kamakichi summon them. As Naruto said goodbye to everyone that was there. As Himako came over and hugged him and told him to be safe, as Naruto told that he will be alright. Before any more dialogue could go on, as Yujito told him that when he come back she would tell him what she wanted to say, so that would give him more incentives to come back. And with that he was poofed away, as Jiraiya was surprised. What the hell? They summoned the kid before him? But he was then gone as well. As Sai and Maki was bringing Himako home, as they started talking on the way, as Himako could see that Maki was in love with Naruto. As Maki had her face in her hand because she didn't know what the hell, how she was supposed to react to that, because it wasn't actually a lie. Some time passed as Danzo, he was coming back from his mission. He was in this hidden stand as he told Toru and Fu to get ready for anything. He knew that something was going to happen. As Itachi and Kisame finally made their way there, Itachi was going after Danzo. As Kisame took on Toru and Fu, Itachi's heart wasn't in the battle. He had his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and his Susanoo, but his heart just wasn't in the battle. After hearing about the battle from Naruto, Danzo had a perfect way to counter the Susanoo, as he was able to slice through the back of it. Seeing that Itachi was so sluggish in Susanoo, the battle raged on as Itachi was pissed, as to Danzo's words, the both of them clashed against each other furiously in the desert. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto finally achieved Sage Mode, but then they saw his eyes. One of his eyes didn't have it on. So Naruto told him all about the Sharingan as he removed the lens. But Jiraiya was surprised because that wasn't the Sharingan, as Naruto's eye was something completely different that he didn't understand. A mixture of Sage Mode with the Sharingan turned his eye into something completely different. As the Kyuubi then called Naruto, as Naruto wanted to know what does it want. But the Kyuubi did something. He was able to gather nature energy as well. Yes, he gathered nature energy, as Naruto could just take that from him, so he didn't have to use it too. Toads on his shoulder, yes, that was the better way. As Danzo was clashing against Itachi furiously in the desert. Meanwhile, Kisame got poisoned by the bugs from Toru, as it filled the water and attached to Kisame's body, leaving him completely helpless. But he managed to slaughter the both of them before he fell though, as they died with him, the three of them collapsing in the water, all of them dying. As Itachi was fighting off against Danzo, Danzo was giving it his all, but Itachi was still a lot faster than him. Itachi appeared behind him as Danzo stabbed himself right through his stomach just to pierce Itachi, as he activated the seal and took Itachi down with him. As Zetsu then arrived. After taking away the both of their bodies, he disappeared because he couldn't get to Kisame's body because of that poison. After some time, the Sand Ninjas finally arrived, as they had to report this immediately. The Kazekage need to tell the Hokage about this. So yeah guys, it was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So, we're still begin this new episode. The message from the Sand Ninjas just got to Konoha. As Danzo's two bodyguards are found dead, along with the body of Kisame. Danzo and Itachi were nowhere to be found, seeing that Itachi was Kisame's partner, but signs of a great battle away from the three dead bodies were found. This did not give Tsunade an easy feeling to the missing Danzo. Danzo was not the type to allow himself to be taken prisoner, as this must be a personal vendetta from Itachi, as Tsunade was told by Naruto about the Black Op mission that took on, where Itachi had to slaughter his clan, as Koharu and Homura were thrown out immediately after Tsunade got the clone. She could understand when some things were buried and covered up, but this was still out there. Itachi was still alive. If Itachi had killed them all, Sasuke included, maybe he would have stayed. Maybe a lot of this wouldn't have happened, but from what Naruto told her, Itachi wouldn't have stayed. That fight that Naruto interrupted, Itachi wanted to die. So with Naruto stepping foot into it, grudges were meant to be held. The only thing that Itachi wanted out of the entire Uchiha massacre was disrupted. He just wanted to die. Tsunade sighed. I swear the brat need to get his damn stuff together so he can take this damn job. Tsunade started to write out a return message for the Hidden Stand to Gaara. As she knew what to do, the Hidden Stone isn't going to join the alliance, so she might as well set the meeting date, for now. Akatsuki could make too many moves and spring around all around the map. She need to be prepared. Meanwhile, in an unknown location, Madara slammed his fist right into the wall. Damn it, Itachi, as he just got the news from Zetsu. The man was difficult to manipulate even with his spirit broken. When he said that he was heading to the sand, Madara thought that he would find a new way to defeat him. Yes, he would still try to think of something, but he was still going to do his plan by gathering the tail pieces. He never thought that Itachi was willing to go because Danzo was heading there as well, as he hadn't even taken enough time to try out his Mangekyo Sharingan before engaging the man, finding out some of his other techniques beforehand, and now he didn't have them anymore. As Madara cursed, seeing that Danzo sealed Itachi inside his body. There is no way to get him out, and Danzo had a right arm full of only useless ones. He even did something to destroy Shisui's eye when dying. All he got from Danzo's death was a Mokitan arm with the cells in it. Not exactly a victory though. One step forward and 3 steps back. After taking Danzo's arm, he let Zetsu take Danzo's body to pain. The fool will do a little reanimation technique and he will have a new path back to full strength now. No need to complain or sulk over his body's destructions anymore. With other business, as the little team that he sent, they hurried into the fight and they were insulted by Kabuto. Maybe he needed to seek out this man that they were going after. Perhaps looking to employ him than eliminate him was a better option now, he thought to himself. Meanwhile, the Hidden Rain. Konan could tell that Pain was in a good mood now, since he has been sulking for the entire last month when his battle was interrupted. When Zetsu gave him the body of Danzo, she saw him smile, as Konan thought that she would feel happy seeing the man who conspired against him with Hanzo, the man who corrupted Hanzo to make Yahiko die. But she didn't know why, but she felt hollow, empty. It didn't feel like any kind of victory. In fact, it didn't feel like anything at all. And from what Zetsu said, it was time to move again, time to list the Madara's will again. And Pain didn't seem to have any bothersome thoughts about that. Konan, as she turned towards Tendo, I will be leaving the village for a short while. In the meantime, I want you to send out messages to the other smaller villages who are sick of playing the buffer and the whipping boys to the Great 5 nations. Which ones would you want me to send word to? She asked. All of them, every single one, he said. I want every minor village to be contacted. I want you to tell them to keep their eyes open. And to tell them that the 5 dominating village is over. They will see what I mean soon enough. Their pain will also be reimbursed if they choose to join the Hidden Rain. You want the alliance? She asked. Yes, the 5 great villages are doing the same. What they have done is neglected or even thought about the smaller villages that populate our world when they thought about the idea in the first place. The arrogance of the 5 great nations that did so. They wouldn't even think about the smaller nations. That is where everything will change. The 5 great nations will fall, said Pain, soon as the smaller villages realize they have nothing to fear. As him and his bodies walk out, I will give them that belief. There is nothing to fear, he said. Tell them that the man that inherited the power of the Sage of Six Paths is sending out the call. As he jumped off the ledge along with the rest of his bodies, Konan's fist clenched. So you're going to start a war? Have you truly forgotten the reason? The entire reason we started all of this. It was for peace, she thought to herself. Meanwhile, at Mount Miyaboku, as the toads that were hiding because of all the destruction that was going on between the friendly battle between Naruto and Jiraiya. Is it over? Yamatatsu asked. as he was hiding in the back of his father's vest. "Let me check," said Gamikichi. "I'll be right back." As Gamikichi came over to see Jiraiya and Naruto laying in a crater with Pa and Ma over them. "Hey, are either of you dead after that? Because it seems like one of you should be," said Gamikichi. Jiraiya shakily stood up. "I have not had my ass kicked like that in a very long time. And I'm not counting the pain thing because technically, I beat half of his bodies." "And then you rip your arm off," Naruto said, as he picked himself up. As Naruto started to fall, but Gamikichi came over, as Naruto landed right on his back. "Okay, Naruto, I have to catch up to you after saying that. Maybe I should start training in Senjutsu training too," said Gamikichi. "Sage Mode is a monster," Naruto said. "I think I'm tired. Me, actually tired. I never get tired like this." "Side effect of using Sage Mode for a long time, kid," said Jiraiya. "That is why it's only for the big guns. You feel the exhaustion when you let it fade." "How are you feeling?" Kyuubi Naruto asks. "I am not weak like you humans are. Do you really think that your puny ninjutsu could put a dent in my own chakra reserves?" "Yes," Naruto said, as the Kyuubi scoffed. "So," Naruto asks, "am I done? Is my training finished?" "Yeah, you're done. It's time to go home. As soon as we can stand up and walk in a straight line." As Naruto gave him a thumbs up. As Pa then lifted up Jiraiya with surprising strength. "Well then, I guess I will make you two some home cooking for the road," said Ma. Naruto and Jiraiya quickly pushed themselves off as they used each other to balance. No, it's alright," both of them said. "We need to get back to Konoha. Who knows what happened to that place since we've gone?" As the both of them started to crawl away. "Right," said Pa, "I guess I will go to Konoha and get ready to summon them back," as he headed off. Meanwhile, at Mizukage's office, "Kojo, I need you to focus, okay?" As he nodded. There have been raids going on all over the countryside at Kiri outposts, and no survivors have been making it out of 9 different assaults. "So you want me to go and search for whoever's doing this?" he asked. "Yes, I need to take a team out to deal with whoever's doing this. I'm asking you because you're the best current crop of potential for the 7 Ninja Swordsmen." And also, as she showed him some photos. "Do you understand now?" she said, as he looked at it. "But how could this be? These wounds on these bodies." "But the report that we got from the Hidden Sand, Kisame is supposed to be dead." Mei knew that. She already returned a message to Tsunade, and that she would attend a meeting in their village to go over the Akatsuki threat. "Don't worry, Mizukage-sama," said Kojo. "I will find whoever is doing this. As one of the legendary ninja swordsmen, I will find who's ever doing this and stop them. I swear I'll bring them down and bring Samehada back." Mei smiled. "You have free reign to select whoever you feel like would be best to assist you on this mission. You can leave once you've done this. Good luck. I know that you will do a good job," she said. Kojiro bowed as he headed off. Time skip. At Konoha. "So this is little Naruto-chan's house," said Ma, as she looked around and she was led inside by Himago. "Didn't get to see much of this place the last time I was in Konoha, as she could see the entire village because this house was on the mountainside. I'm sorry, there was just so much going on the last time you were here. We didn't have time to show you Naruto-sama's home. To be honest, he hasn't even been here yet either." "Well, that's about to change in just a moment, so hold on," said Shima. As there was a poof. When the smoke cleared, "There you go," she said, as Jiraiya and Naruto was sitting there. "Feel free to stop in any time, either of you," she said. "So see ya." And with that she poofed away. "Oh my ass," Naruto said as he looked around. "This isn't even my apartment. He has just been gone for a couple of months. He still remembers what his own place looked like. First of all, this is way too big to be my place. Second of all, you can see the Hokage's monument from my living room window." "Nice view though," he said, as he looked over the entire thing. "Actually, Naruto-sama, this is your house," said Himako, as Naruto turned to look towards her, as she smiled at him. "You told me to keep your affairs in order. Well, due to the work at the academy, and the ceiling tags that I have sold, and all the money that you got from Sasori's bounty, and all the high-level missions that you kept on taking, we had money. A lot of money. Enough money to easily buy this entire house. That wasn't even to mention that he got paid regular intervals, while he was on this long mission all around the world. Getting paid for an X-rank mission, routinely, well, it left your pocket quite full. Plus, Kiri warded Konoha for them bringing back one of their blades. And some of that went to Naruto account for payment for his effort of the Mizukage request." "Yep," Jiraiya said, "and I live here too. Rent-free, of course. I am on the cusp of retirement, and I'm taking liberties with your social security kit." "I'm a veteran now," said Jiraiya. "Yes, there's plenty of space in Himako. It's actually no problem that Jiraiya-sama lives here as well," she said. "So let me get this straight. You bought me a house while I was gone, and you moved all of this stuff in. As Himako nodded, so this place is all of this space. And I don't even know how much bedroom. 8 bedroom, master, she said. 8 bedroom? And all of this is mine. You mean this belongs to me, he said. Yes, said Himako. As Naruto went silent. Is that a problem, master, she asked. Did I do something wrong? You're not upset, are you? But Naruto swept her up in a kiss, making her blush as their lips parted ways. Thank you, Himako-chan, he said. Finally, I own a house. A big-ass house, not an apartment, he said. As Jiraiya saw Himako touching her lips and blushing. Hey, I know you're happy about getting a house, said Jiraiya. But if you try to kiss me, I'm gonna throw you through that window. Big deal, I can walk on air, remember? Do you really want to start that? Because I know you can't fly. Now leave me alone and let me celebrate, Naruto said. Naruto-sama, said Himako. There's something I have to tell you. As her voice became rather low, and the tone wasn't as sheer as before, as she couldn't look Naruto in the eye for what she was about to say next. I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just gonna look in the eyes and say it. There's some news that came to us while you're gone. I'm afraid Danzo Shimura is missing. Hokage Danzo thinks that he's most likely dead. As Jiraiya looked at Naruto, come on kid, don't do that freezing up crap. Whenever something bad happened, come on, say something, do something, he thought. As Naruto simply walked over to the couch and sit down. As Himako sit down beside him and hugged him. So, how did he die, Naruto asked. At least he's willing to say something about it, Jiraiya thought. As this was a lot better than time when he didn't think that he could defeat the Akatsuki. As she told him what she heard happened. As his guards were found, dead, along with Kisame. But Itachi was nowhere to be seen, well, his body was not. And also, there was a era where other fighting was going on. Deadly fighting, it seems. Huh, at least the old man didn't go down easy, Naruto said. He did take one of their most powerful enemies as well. You're always watching my back somehow, weren't you, Danzo Jiji? At least you went out in a fight. I think you'd have hurt me worse if you died in your sleep, something as lame as that. He then turned towards Himako. So how are Sai and Maki? What's going on with them? Sai and Maki said, I need to speak to you, said Himako. As Naruto could guess that there was a power vacuuming route now. And now that Danzo is dead, there was supposed to be a recall of all dispatch route operatives. He could only imagine the mess that was down there. I'll handle it, Naruto said, as he patted her right on the thigh. Don't worry, I'm fine though, really. As Naruto got up and decided to look for his room, he hadn't slept in a bed that could be considered his own in months. Yeah, and he was tired as hell. I guess I'll have to get Chuo tomorrow and meet up my friends, Naruto said. Wait, why do you think that, asked Jiraiya? Well, people thought that I was captured after the fight with Pain. I never came home. And I also took a team that no one really knew about. I was around the world while people thought I was dead in a ditch somewhere. The team that no one knew about actually met my friends and then they escaped from them, so they couldn't follow me back to, or bring me back to Konoha. Oh, and how about this, he said, as he turned off the contact lens. Keeping this a secret for as long as I can is going to be a pain in the ass. He will definitely be, well, you need to be well rested for that. I can see your point, said Jiraiya. Well, good luck with that, he said. Hey Himako, I don't know where I'm going, or which room is mine. Do you want me to show you, she asked, in a sweet voice. That would be great, he said. As she grabbed his arm, do you want to take a nap with me? I could use the company, she said. Just a nap, Naruto asked, as her eyes twitched a bit. Spending only a few hours in Kumo with Naruto was not enough to make up for the months that he has been gone for. Maybe when I wake up we can do something if you still feel like it. Naruto teased her back. Who knows how long that will be though, he said. You're so mean, Naruto-sama, she said as she led him into his room. Oh well, she said, you can tell me all about the things before you drop asleep, about what you saw in your trip that you couldn't tell me through the connection. And I was looking so forward to us checking out your new bed together. Well, on the second thought, Naruto said, I suppose I have enough in me for a shot, he said. Meanwhile, as Kabuto was just basking in his quietness, he had finished integrating Orochimaru's cells into his body, as he currently had a hood over his head. He was in one of his many bases now. You know that, even as powerful as you are, cornering me on my own turf wouldn't be a good idea, even for someone as you, Madara. So you knew I was here, as Madara stepped out of the darkness. That's really impressive, Kabuto. Kabuto smirked under his hood. So you know of me, that's not really good. I'm not really much of a people person. You know a lot about me to come and seek me out, that's not very good. I am not even going to get into how you found me. You just had to put your ears to the ground, said Madara. I made a living out of acting like a ghost through all these years. Why wouldn't I be able to find someone who's trying to keep off the surface as well? So tell me, Why are you here? Did your little team, Sasuke fan club, did not give you the desired results? They are not important, said Madara. But you, on the other hand, I have needs for skills like yours. There will come a day when I might need your help. Kabuto simply laughed. Do it look like I really care about fighting or delivering Jinjulkis to you? For money or anything. Money, I don't have any kind of need for it. Land, I can just take that. And land, I prefer the small, concealed areas such as this. He could take over an entire country if he was bored and just felt like it. Well, that was probably the Orochimaru talking inside of him. There is really nothing that you can give me to make me work with you. And when I say with, I mean with you. Because I will never work for anyone again. You're awfully blunt on matters, are you, said Madara. I expected you to at least try to steam something to your advantage, instead of dismissing me outright. You'd have expected that, said Kabuto. And who says that I'm dismissing you? I never said that I wasn't for hire, Madara Uchiha. I just said that you won't have anything that would probably interest me enough for me to work with you. And fear is not anything that would get me to work with you either. You have no helpers, said Madara, as he found his way here and didn't find a single underling. Helpers only get in your way and bring you disappointment. If there was any underlings who could actually work good for you, then they wouldn't work for you at all. They would simply find their own way, because they would be smart enough to know that. As Madara agreed with that statement, you may not wish to work for money, status, or even your own safety. But you do wish to discover things, do you not? Tell me, how would the bodies of the prime clans of the world suit you as a price? Not just of Konoha, but of all villages, all nations around the world. You must have inherited your former master ambition for power. Well then, if that's what you're offering, let's just say it's a start. If that is your starting price, I would love to see what we can work out in the end. But I do have to ask, what exactly do you need a man of my talents for? Roughly the same reason why I desire Orochimaru for Akatsuki. Though you perhaps are more dangerous than he is. You have more talents than just that. And I doubt that any reason that you will actually work with me would be on a level for you as well. Well, sometimes you make things seem too complicated. Sometimes man like me and Naruto Uzumaki, we are on the opposite ends of things, and we don't really desire anything. Me and Naruto are unique in that way. Yes, he sees things that he must protect, and that he's willing to die for. But me on the other hand, to a different extent, sometimes I would sit back and watch the world burn, and just simply stay on the sidelines. As Madara wanted to burn this world, and Kabuto wanted to see how far he will go. He wanted to see how far the other side will war against him. Yes, it will be like a fun little book, and quite entertaining. Time skip. As Naruto went to his own training route grounds to try and find Sayamaki. After breaking his seal all those years ago, he had come back here but it was abandoned. But this would be the perfect place for them to come back and find him. As Naruto went inside, as he saw his own little personal space, actually, it was his and Maki's. Well, he trained there for a year by himself with Danzo watching over him, and then Maki came. One day it will be up and running and full of life again. Once Naruto become Hokage, he will have root, operational. It will be the real Black Ops unit, the way it was supposed to be. Only the very top of the food chain above the village will know that it existed. As Naruto walked over and sat down, he simply closed his eyes as he leaned up against the wall. You know, I'm not even going to ask you guys if you know, because what am I kidding, he said. But just because he's dead, that doesn't mean that Root is dead. Naruto says he got up, his eyes still closed. Despite only a select few known about Danzo's death, he did everything in his power. He always tried to protect Konoha and put the village first. As he always told us, we were the roots that hide in the shadows to protect the village and do things that other people couldn't. And he was right, Naruto said. And all of us has worked to this point. And just because he's gone now, that doesn't mean that everything will just vanish, Naruto said, as he slowly opened his eyes. Are they all here, he asked. Both Maki and Sai nodded as he came out of the darkness. As Naruto stepped forward and opened the door, leading towards another room, with a massive sector, with all of the Root operatives down there. As Naruto looked, it was everyone, every single one of them. Almost immediately as they saw Naruto and Sai, all of the Root ninjas dropped to one knee and bowed. Someone had to say something. It was either Naruto or Sai. That was the way it was supposed to be. As Maki elbowed the both of them in the back, urging one of them to say something. As Naruto looked over at Sai, he was the one that's supposed to run Root. If anything happened to Danzo, Sai is in charge, Naruto said with full confidence in his voice. Isn't that right? As he turned towards Sai. Yes, Sai said. As Sai reached into his pocket and pulled out a scroll, Danzo-sama left me these orders in case of his death, as his successor to run route. Naruto-senpai is correct, it is me. As he threw the scroll forward as he was caught by one of the route operatives so he could verify it. But remember, our next Hokage is amongst us as we speak. Order, sirs, ma'am, said one of the route envoy. As she was asking Naruto Sai, even Maki, seeing that Maki was with him as well. As Naruto looked at Sai and nudged his head. Yeah, he was the one that's supposed to deliver orders to them. For right now, Sai said, there are no standing orders. This will once again be the main base of standing operation until things are up and running once again. I'm going to need to talk to each and every one of you on the current briefing, so that I'm fully briefed to take over. Until then, I wish for you all to remain around the village, like you're on leave. For now, you're all dismissed. Yes, Sai-sama, Naruto-sama, and Maki-dano, as the root ninjas all start to file out. Since when am I dano? Asked Maki, when everyone left. She was flustered, put on the spot like that. Never been in charge of anyone before. Do you think we can do this, Naruto-senpai? Sai asked. Yeah, you got me and Maki-chan to help you. And even more when I become Hokage, Naruto said. Everything is going to be fine. Sai nodded, I'll try. As Naruto slapped him in the back of the head. Huh? As Sai looked towards him. There is no try here, Naruto said. There's either do or don't do, so make it happen. It's the mission. You don't hear me saying that I'll try to become Hokage. When I accepted Danzo's mission, I said that I will do it. And that means I will do it, he said. As Sai understood, this was the most important mission Danzo's ever given to him. I'm going to check Danzo's office in this base. Perhaps he left something behind, he said. And with that he headed off to the office. He'll be fine, said Maki with a smile. I'll be here to help him when I can. It's going to be some time to get things back together before Root can run again. I know, said Naruto. He wanted to be there to help them out, but that would be required for him to be gone and being out of the light for a long while. Still, he won't just leave them alone. If you think you need my help, you can come to me anytime, he said. You both know where my new house is, don't you? It's understandable, said Maki. You're a public figure. Naruto nodded. Then go ahead. Sai-senpai and I need to sit through everything, and he needs to realize that he's the leader of Root now. As Naruto nodded. Moments later, as Naruto had to write a report for everything that happened while he was gone for 2 months. Yeah, there was a long ass time for all the things that he did. Naruto. As Naruto looked up. Hey Neji, it's good to see you again. As Neji sat down as they were in the Jonin lounge. We almost managed to locate you a month ago, but your team prevented that from happening. As Neji was still rather sore that Sai and Maki was able to fool them with an ink clone on their transformation. If he was more suspicious of them, that wouldn't have happened. But they were also running from an extra criminal at the time, so yeah. You didn't want to be where I was, Naruto said, as you remember how destructive the battle between him and Sasuke Itachi became. If he ever ended up having kids, then the story of that fight would be a bedtime favorite. How is Teiwaya, by the way, he asked. Neji was well aware that she took Sasuke like an attack. Even though she was able to continue on, it was for a short period of time, because after they got back, she had taken nerve damage from Sasuke like an attack that no amount of spot healing from where they were at the spot where Sakura could heal her could fix. She had a month to heal. And think about how your ass screwed us over and left us running around the goddamn woods chasing your shadow. As Neji's voice was cut off by said girl as she appeared. As she was behind Naruto as Naruto tilted his head back. Hello Uzumaki. Duck butt. Didn't maim you after all, she said. Not for life anyway, Naruto said as he smiled. It's really good to see that you're alright. When my clone left you in the woods, you didn't look good at all. As Teiwaya came around and sat down right beside him. Come on, a little cardiac arrest cannot stop me. Now who was that guy and girl? Just like you claiming to be your teammates before they ran away from us. They were my actual team, Naruto said. Sai and Maki are registered. You can find their records, he said. He was trying to make it seem uninterested, so they will drop the issue. Teiwaya clenched her fist. I wanted to kick the crap out of you for just running off without talking to us personally. But then again, you saved my life out there, so I guess that is worth something. Thanks for that, by the way. Anytime, Naruto said. I'm glad that you two are here though. I got something important I want to tell you guys. What kind of important, Neji asked. Hey, did you finish off the Uchiha? Asked Teiwaya. Kind of. As no one knew the aftermath of Naruto's battle, they all knew that he survived it. You killed him? As Teiwaya knew 2 girls on a personal level. Pinky, and that other right here bitch that might take that really deeply. You killed your old friend like that, she asked. He wasn't any friend of mine, Naruto said. He was a comrade, but he threw that all away by running and nearly killing Rock Lee 3 years ago. You guys are friends of mine. I have friends in other places. Sasuke wasn't my friend. But I was told in Kiri that Sai and Maki saw the battles of Sasuke and Itachi. The last attack sent me flying, but their bodies aren't as tough as mine to deal with. So, the stress must have taken a toll. As Neji now wished that he had been there, if not to fight but to simply watch it in person. You were able to defeat them both, Neji asked. Sasuke was skilled, but before his time with Orochimaru. Adding Itachi into that, that's incredible, he said. As Teiwai looked over Naruto, she saw multiple tattoos all over his body. Huh. You had a shitty few months, haven't you? No one would put those things on themselves if they didn't need them. And from the sound of things, he really needed each and every one of them. You don't even know the half of it, he thought. I want to be the one to tell everyone about what happened to Sasuke. If anyone is upset about it, I take responsibility, Naruto said. After all, I was the one that took the mission from Kiri to find the swords, after all. None of them would necessarily hate Naruto for his clash with Sasuke. He had to do what he had to do after all. He did not owe Sasuke any mercy or reprieve after what he did. One person that had to come to the realization with that as well was Kakashi, as he was off in the room as well, listening to them. So you were able to do it after all, Naruto, he thought. He wished things would have gone down a different way, but there was nothing that could be changed now. As Naruto got out of his seat, are you guys going to come with me? I'm going to find everyone else and tell them what happened to Sasuke. The way you two reacted, I guess it never really went public, and I guess they don't know either. As the both of them nodded and headed off with him. Moments later, meanwhile, in the root base, as Sai and Maki were rather silent, because they just found out Danzo's plan. Well, after everything had went off, and Naruto had came back, Maki would be Naruto's closest confidant, and as time went on, Danzo even planned for the both of them to be together and get married. Are you going to say anything, Sai asked. What could I possibly say about that, she said. She was supposed to marry Naruto if everything had gone off without a hitch, and she could understand that. Well, I do care about Naruto-senpai a lot. I always did, but still, huh? Yeah, I probably would have ended up with him if he had never left. You wish that you could marry Senpai, didn't you, Maki? What? Said Maki. I didn't say that. How can you even ask me something like that? It's completely inappropriate. But you haven't said that you wouldn't yet, Sai said. Maki grunted as he left the room. As Sai rubbed the back of his head, and here I thought teasing one relationship was a good bond between friends. He shrugged. A few hours later, all the ninjas that Naruto had graduated with, all of the rookies that were there for the Chunin exams, and Team Guy and also Teiwaya was there, all of them in Naruto's house, having a small party. As Kiba swore that Naruto was just showing off to say, look at my big ass house. And Naruto was, especially since Himako was going around like a, hostess. Well, she was acting like Naruto's wife. Why, said Kiba. Why didn't anything cool like that happen to me? As he looked over at Himako. I don't think that you can take the karmic backlash that could come with it, Naruto said. I'll be honest, when life is good, it's really good. But when it rains, it's poor. Speaking of just seeing you guys again, I want to talk to you guys about that. Soccer conversation quickly cut from the others that she was having, as she turned towards Naruto. Did you run into Sasuke-kun again, she asked, knowing that was why he was there in the first place. Teiwaya scoffed. Is that a real question, she asked. It's alright, Teiwaya, Naruto said. This is the real reason why I invited everyone here in the first place. Something happened, didn't it, said Shikamaru. You really did fight him, did you? Yeah, said Naruto as he told them about fighting Deidara first. Until he found the trail towards Sasuke and Itachi. Wait, said Ino, jumping out of her seat, so Sasuke can really fight his brother after all. What happened, she asked. Let Naruto talk, said Tenten. Do you really think he will see all of that and didn't tell us what he saw? As Naruto smiled at Tenten, Sasuke did end up fighting Itachi and me. We all fought each other. We ended up blowing up an entire fortress in the fight. Sasuke was so strong, I couldn't believe that he could pull off one of the attacks that he did. And Itachi was just as scary as I thought he'd be in a battle. The way Naruto was speaking, and that Sasuke was not currently with them, Sakura was putting things together slowly. And the fact that Naruto was speaking in the past tense when he called Sasuke's name, or Itachi. If Naruto had lost that battle, he wouldn't have spoken about it. Did you win? Naruto nodded. As Sakura looked at him, well, what happened in the end? She had a feeling. She had a feeling what happened, but she wanted to hear for herself from him. Sasuke's seal on his neck, house Orochimaru's spirit, while his body, house some of Orochimaru remains. When he fought me and Itachi, he coughed out first. He reached his limit before either of us. That let Orochimaru took over his body for a second there. Itachi and I stopped it, but Sasuke had nothing left to fight with. I tried to use my best jutsu to finish him off, but Itachi jumped in with his best jutsu as well to stop me. He didn't want me to take Sasuke out. So he blocked your attack, Sakura said, sounding hopeful, as Naruto nodded. But I already hit Sasuke with the jutsu once before when he turned into Orochimaru monster. My attack completely tore apart his chakra network. The fact that he was still moving was a boost from turning into that monster before turning back. My last attack was block, but my team told me that Sasuke died afterwards. I had done too much damage to him to keep his body move forward anymore. Shino had taken in everything, so you're telling us that you managed to kill Sasuke Uchiha in battle? He said straightforward. I see. Yes, said Naruto. I would have tried to at least recover his body so that I could bring him back. But I wasn't able to stay awake any longer after Itachi blocked my last attack and he blew up in my face. I never hated him, but I wasn't about to pull punches in a fight like that after what I've seen. As silence filled the room, as most of them that knew that Naruto had to do what he needed to do. Despite hearing that Ino felt like a punch had hit her right in the stomach. Still, she couldn't fault him for doing his job. On the other hand, Sakura understood. She understood completely. And there was a part of her that wished she had been strong enough to do the same when she and Teiwai went up against him. That still didn't stop the feeling of someone stuck a knife into her heart and twisting it. All that she had trained for was for nothing. She blew her own chance when she hesitated. And now she would never ever get another opportunity. I'm sorry, Sakura. As her tear-filled eyes turned towards Naruto, I know what it's like to lose someone important to you. Even if it's someone that no one else really feels sorrow over losing. That doesn't make them matter any less to you. If Danzo hadn't been killed recently, then he probably wouldn't have been able to relate in much a way at all. Tears were streaming down her face. She understood, but she just couldn't stay. As she ran straight through the door. As Ino moved. Naruto, I'm sorry, but someone has to be with her right now. Apologizing to everyone that she ran past, Ino went after Sakura. The good cheer that was there, before telling everyone anything, had just completely vanished. Being Hokage was certainly going to turn his hair grey if he had told his friends about something like this, and it was so depressing. The next day, the Mizukage, accompanied by a squad of her elite, led by Ao, walked through Konoha gates. As they were here for the meeting. This is a very beautiful village, she said, as she commented the guy that was leading the way. Yes, Konoha is the guiding line of Hain no Kuni, said Guy, as he led the way through the village, showing the entire country how to burn with the flames of youth. I am certain that your village is much the same since the Civil War ended. The rebuilding over the few years has been steady, much to say at least. Your own dignitary that came some while ago should have told you that though. Guy blocked the frown from coming on his face at the mention of Danzo, as he did not comment about his demise. That would come later if it was important in the Kage meeting. I hope you enjoy your stay here. If you require anything, then feel free to ask for Konoha. Infamous green beast of prey. Mike Guy. May giggle. I will keep that in mind, Guy-san, she said. You are quite the specimen though, she said, as she commented on his shape, his physical shape that he was in. Guy turned towards her and gave her that sparkling teeth and a thumbs up. As Ao spoke, I have to admit, Guy-san, he said, the Mizukage is right. I could certainly say that we need more men like you around the village, said Ao. But me only heard a few parts around that. Mizukage needs man like you. Ao, she said. Yes, ma'am. Shut up, or I'll kill you. I can't get away from it, Ao thought, even in a completely different country. Wait, she can't do that here, can she? I hope not, he thought. Meanwhile, at one of the borders of Kiri, you were a tough opponent, but still not enough to take me down to Tsugetsu, as he looked exhausted like he's been through hell, as he held Samihata and Zabuza's giant blade in his hands. And now I got 3, as he took the scroll with the blade in it from Kojuro, stained blood body. You're finally done, said Karen, walking up behind Tsugetsu. She had some marks of battle herself on her, but she was otherwise fine. As she looked down at Kojuro, you sure took your time with him. Well, he wasn't weak, said Tsugetsu. He actually knew what he was doing with both swords. It was really impressive. So how did you win, she asked. He didn't have the stamina to keep going, said Tsugetsu. He tried switching weapons on the fly too much, and that was a big mistake. He wasn't nearly fast enough to pull that off. Tsugetsu seemed quite pleased with himself and know that he had 3 of the 7 swords that he wanted. Right now they had to get back to Jugo though. They had left him to take on the rest of Kojuro's squad on his own. So after getting Jugo, what do we do, she asked. You still want Uzumaki, don't you? As Karen growled, well then, we train. Someone like that isn't going to be easy to beat even if I have these weapons with me. You're still all but useless in a fight with the guy. I'll break him with my own hand, said Karen. I'll never forgive that murderous bastard, she said. Ever. Feel free, he said. But he was happy that there was something there to drive her to train and get stronger. Meanwhile, in Naruto's house, As there was a large dojo in there as well. As Naruto was currently swinging his sword in the air like he was fighting off a ghost or something. I love watching you revert back to your old, crazy seal self as much as anyone, Jiraiya said. But you've been doing this for 2 hours. Are you getting insane or something, Jiraiya asked. As Naruto had his Sharingan active and swinging his blade. What the hell are you doing, Jiraiya said. The same thing I was trying to do while we were training with the toads. I'm trying to see the rip in time and space when I swing this sword, but nothing happens. I even used the Sharingan in stage mode and I got nothing out of it. Are you sure you didn't misread what you found on the tablet, Jiraiya asked. As Naruto turned towards Jiraiya with a dull look on his face. What's with that look, Jiraiya asked. Even if I did misread it, the tablet is right here in Konoha. I can go back at it and look at it whenever I want to. And that damn tablet said this sword cut through space and time with every swing, whether I try or not. I can't even channel my wind chakra into it. It does absolutely nothing, Naruto said. The only thing I know is that it had Madara chakra chopped in it. That is why it has these abilities. As Naruto sighs, he swung the blade around a couple more times, but still nothing. As Naruto went back to the main halls. So where'd your little servant girl go? Asked Jiraiya. You can call her by her name, you know, said Naruto with a tick mark. And Himako has errands. She does tons of things all over the village to take her time. So that is why she was out and about so much when you were gone, said Jiraiya. As Naruto nodded as he opened the window and stepped on the ledge. So you're going to head out now, Jiraiya asked. No reason not to. Later, Sunny Naruto said. As he jumped off the railing, as he used his burst limit to hop his way down. Bring back some alcohol, kid, Jiraiya yelled. I wonder if he hear me. He probably did not. Grab this scroll in the pantry, you dumbass. We stole like 6. Full case of 6 from Gamabunta storage. Before we left, Mount Miyaboku. I guess he heard me, said Jiraiya, as he headed off to grab the storage scrolls. Moments later, as Naruto jumped right through Tsunade's window as he landed right on the decks. Ready for duty, he said. Get off my damn deck, she said. As Naruto flipped and landed on his feet, before Narnia's eyes. So you're here too, huh? He said, as Tenzo was leaning up against the wall, as he was wearing his normal shinobi gear. He wasn't wearing his Anvu outfit. It's been a while, Tenzo, Naruto said, as Yamato walked over and shook Naruto's hand. Good to see that you're doing alright, he said. Being stuck with man for months upon months, doing missions together, they became friends. He was generally good-natured, but a bit stiff. But if you compare him to Sai, Tenzo seemed like a little butterfly. I'm not technically an envoy on this mission, so call me Yamato instead. Okay, sure, Naruto said. So, are we all set to go? Tsunade nodded as she grabbed her hat and put it on. Let's go, she said, as Naruto and Tenzo walked behind her, as they made their way towards the room where everyone was. As Naruto looked over the room as his eyes spotted, as Yujito smiled at him as she was there along with the Raikage, and Darui, and C, and a couple more ninjas. Naruto raised eyebrows at that, how much people they bring, but Tsunade probably didn't tell them how much they could bring. As she waved towards Naruto, as Naruto smiled at her, as Darui smiled, and C rolled his eyes and scoffed a bit, at Darui elbowed him right in the ribs. We can talk later, she mouthed the words to him, making Naruto nodded, as the Raikage took his seat. The next to enter was the Mizukage, as she was followed by Ao, and the Kiri ninjas. Soon thereafter, Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro made their arrival. I'm glad to see that you all arrived safely, said Tsunade, as she looked at all of them, ready to begin the meeting. But guys, be any subs right here. For once next part, if you still know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And go on ahead and check out the rest of the watches and enjoy, guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.